If you're working with a buyer right now during these cold months, and as I'm filming this, there's just a couple of feet of snow outside, there are a couple of things you're going to want to make sure that you do. First of all, try and do the heavy lifting for them. What does this mean? Make sure that before you go see a house in the dead of winter, that they're pre-approved, first of all, but if failing that, at the very least, you have a good understanding as to what their budget happens to be. Make sure those buyers also have gone through all of the online marketing materials for a home before you actually book a visit. In addition to that, make sure the consumer, or rather the buyer, knows the neighborhood that they're about to visit. It may be so that the house is stunning, but the neighborhood is just not for them. So that's really important. Make sure they see everything online, make sure they understand the neighborhood before you get those boots on and go out to see that home. Another thing to do whenever you're representing a buyer during the winter months is to make sure that you really understand the landscaping. Yes, the landscaping. Why? Because once the snow melts, a lot of problems typically uncover themselves. So make sure that you have in your contract, if you're putting an offer in on a home during the winter months, that if there's anything that comes awry, that wasn't visible as a result of the snow in the landscaping, that the seller then makes sure that they are the ones responsible for repairing those issues. There's some real important legal terminology that has to be included, so I suggest that you speak to a lawyer or your broker of record to help you craft that. If you're a selling agent and you're working with a seller to sell their home in winter, here are a couple of tips that I like to use to make sure that that sale is successful. The first one is making the house look and feel cozy. So you want to make sure that you feature things that make a house warmer. Like what? Fireplaces. Turn those on. Show that there's heat and warmth in the home. Something not to focus on in the middle of winter is something like a pool, because frankly, no one really is thinking about getting into their bikinis in the middle of winter. Other things to show off are nooks and crannies that make the house feel cozy. So put out a tea kettle, put out warm blankets to create that sense of warmth. Another tip if you're working with a seller to sell the home during the winter is to leverage as much as possible online media, meaning video tours, meaning making sure you have lots of pictures, giving the ability to even do virtual open houses on Instagram and TikTok, etc. The reason why this is going to be really important is because what we've seen in past years, if there's a big snow dump, people don't go out to look at homes, which means people don't put in offers. However, ever since COVID, because we're now all acclimated to using virtual tours, virtual showings, etc., what I'm starting to see is that buyers are more willing to put in offers on homes really sight physically unseen, but certainly seen online.